Carlos Alcaraz shares his thoughts on Jannik Sinner's doping suspension. A tennis world divided over the controversial ruling. The tennis world has been abuzz with reactions to the 3-month suspension handed to Jannik Sinner after testing positive for Clostridium in March 2024. While various tennis figures have already expressed their views on the matter, the opinion of Spain's world number 1, Carlos Alcaraz, had been notably absent until now. As more players weigh in on the controversial case, Alcaraz has now shared his perspective on the suspension, which many argue is disproportionately lenient. The ruling allows Sinner to compete in all 4 Grand Slam tournaments this year, a decision that has sparked outrage among several high-profile figures in the sport. Tennis icons such as Nick Kyrgios and Stan Wawrinka have been particularly vocal in their criticism of both the Italian and world anti-doping agencies, WADA and NATO Italia, arguing that the punishment does not align with the severity of the offense. "I no longer believe in clean sport. This is a sad day for tennis," Kyrgios declared, while Wawrinka echoed his sentiments, questioning the fairness of the ruling. Carlos Alcaraz, who had previously expressed his belief in Sinner's innocence during the ongoing investigation, has now commented on the matter again in an interview with Diario Marca. However, rather than delving deeply into the ethics of the decision, his response was measured. "There's not much to say about the suspension itself," Alcaraz remarked. "Whether Jannik plays or not, our goal remains the same. We strive to perform well in every tournament. Being the world number 1 means you're always a target." Despite his relatively neutral stance on the issue, Alcaraz's prior statements indicate that he has been inclined to give Sinner the benefit of the doubt throughout the case. Now, with the Italian cleared to return to competition after a brief hiatus, the much-anticipated rivalry between the two will have to wait until the Italian Open in Rome. Until then, Alcaraz will have to contend with other major challenges at the Masters events, Roland Garros, and Wimbledon. As Alcaraz navigates the competitive landscape, a new force is making waves in the world of tennis. Brazilian sensation João Fona. The 18-year-old prodigy has rapidly climbed the ranks, drawing comparisons to Alcaraz himself. Many see Fona's meteoric rise as a mirror image of the Spaniard's breakthrough years ago, setting the stage for an electrifying generational rivalry. Fona's breakout moment came at the Australian Open, where he stunned the tennis world with a dominant performance, dispatching established star Andrei Rublev in a Grand Slam debut that exuded confidence and raw talent. His momentum has only grown stronger, and this week he stands on the verge of claiming his first ATP title. If he can overcome Francisco Cerrón in the ATP 250 Buenos Aires final this Sunday, it will solidify his status as one of the sport's fastest-rising contenders. While it remains to be seen how long it will take for Fona to fully cement his place at the top, expectations are sky-high. Many believe it's only a matter of months before he consistently challenges the sport's elite. Tennis legends are already envisioning an exhilarating showdown between Fona and Alcaraz, a clash of young titans that could define the next era of men's tennis. As the sport enters a new chapter, the emergence of João Fona alongside Alcaraz and Sinner sets the stage for a thrilling future, one where the next great rivalries are just beginning to unfold. The trajectory of João Fona's 2025 season bears an uncanny resemblance to Carlos Alcaraz's breakthrough year in 2021, the period when the Spaniard truly established himself as an elite force, steadily building momentum before his meteoric rise. Given this parallel, some of the most respected figures in tennis are eagerly anticipating their first head-to-head battle. Among them is none other than Andy Murray, a legend of the sport and current coach of Novak Djokovic, who took to social media to express his excitement. As the young Brazilian battled Low Jerry for a spot in the Buenos Aires final, Murray tweeted, "I can't wait for Fona's first match against Alcaraz. With the clay court season approaching, it's going to be electric." The expectation is palpable, especially since clay is considered Fona's strongest surface, despite his ability to hold his own on any court. This mirrors Alcaraz's early years, where his aggressive baseline play and tactical intelligence made him a nightmare for opponents. While anticipation for a Fona-Alcaraz showdown grows, the Spaniard is dealing with his own set of challenges. His performance in the ATP 500 tournament in Doha will be a key moment in his season. However, luck has not been on his side in the draw, as he faces a daunting path filled with dangerous opponents. His campaign begins with a high-stakes opening match against Marin Cilic, the former US Open champion, followed by a potential semi-final clash against Novak Djokovic, one of his greatest rivals. So far, Alcaraz's 2025 season has been an emotional roller coaster. He endured a grueling Australian Open, where he met Djokovic in the quarterfinals and ultimately fell short. The Serbian, despite nursing an injury, played a mind game that rattled Alcaraz, executing a stunning comeback to take the match. However, the Spaniard bounced back impressively, securing his first-ever indoor hardcourt title in Rotterdam just weeks ago. Now, though, that victory is in the past, and the challenge ahead in Doha looms large. This tournament is more than just another competition. It's an opportunity for redemption, a chance to rewrite the narrative of his season and possibly get another shot at Djokovic. The Doha event serves as the final stop before the high-profile North American hardcourt swing, where Alcaraz is set to defend a hefty amount of ranking points from his previous Indian Wells title and Miami semi-final appearance. But before he can shift his focus to the United States, there's business to be taken care of in Qatar. The tournament also took an unexpected twist with the official announcement of Jannik Sinner's 3-month suspension due to a doping violation. Sinner had initially been scheduled to compete, and the delay in finalizing the draw was a direct result of officials awaiting confirmation on his eligibility. Ultimately, his absence makes Alcaraz the tournament's top seed, but the road to the final remains treacherous. Alcaraz's first major test will come immediately in the form of Marin Cilic. The Croatian, who has been sidelined since November due to injuries, enters the tournament using a protected ranking after dropping to number 195 in the world. Despite his lack of recent match play, he remains a formidable adversary, particularly on a big stage. Should Alcaraz advance, he will then face either China's rising star Zhang Zhizhen or a qualifier in the second round. But the real hurdles begin in the quarterfinals. There, he is projected to meet the 7th seed, Grigor Dimitrov, an opponent who has historically troubled him. In fact, the Bulgarian defeated him just last year in Miami, proving that he is more than capable of halting Alcaraz's progress. Surviving that challenge would set the stage for the ultimate showdown, a semi-final duel against Novak Djokovic. Although a potential Djokovic-Alcaraz semi-final is the highlight of the draw, the Serbian's journey to that stage will be no walk in the park. His first-round challenge comes in the form of Matteo Berrettini, a player known for his explosive serve and aggressive style. The Italian has the tools to push Djokovic, making their matchup a compelling watch from the get-go. Beyond Djokovic, the Doha draw is stacked with formidable contenders. Australian Alex de Minaur, fresh off his runner-up finish in Rotterdam, will be a major threat, bringing his relentless speed and consistency to the courts. Meanwhile, Daniil Medvedev, still searching for redemption after a rough start to the season, will be aiming to reassert himself as a dominant force. Doha may be just one tournament in a long season, but for Alcaraz, it represents a crucial chapter in his 2025 campaign. With difficult matches ahead and high expectations weighing on him, he will need to summon his best tennis to navigate the gauntlet. At the same time, the sport is bracing for the rise of João, setting the stage for a new era of rivalries. While the world watches and waits for the inevitable clash between Fona and Alcaraz, one thing is certain. Tennis is entering an exhilarating new phase, and these young stars are leading the charge. Carlos Alcaraz has arrived in Doha, where he is set to compete in the ATP 500 tournament. His debut match is scheduled for tomorrow against the experienced Marin Cilic, but before stepping onto the court, he participated in Media Day and spoke with various Spanish outlets like Sport. During these interviews, he discussed his current form, his goals for the season, and his determination to fight for the world #1 ranking, a challenge that takes on even greater significance now that Jannik Sinner will be sidelined for 3 months due to his doping suspension. Currently ranked 3rd in the world, Alcaraz is fully aware of the challenges he faces at the start of the season. His 2025 campaign has had its ups and downs, beginning with a tough quarterfinal loss to Novak Djokovic at the Australian Open. However, he bounced back quickly by winning the title in Rotterdam. a major milestone in his career as it marked his first-ever triumph on an indoor hard court, a surface where he had yet to establish his dominance. Now, in Doha, his objective is to maintain that momentum, refine his game, and use this tournament as a key preparation for the upcoming Masters 1000 events and Grand Slams. Speaking to the press, Alcaraz emphasized the importance of combining a solid tactical approach with the freedom to improvise during matches. He noted that it is essential to set a clear game plan and try to follow it, but also to recognize the right moments to trust his instincts, take risks, and experiment with different strategies to outmaneuver his opponents. His goal is to establish a rhythm that keeps him focused while also allowing him to make adjustments at key moments. At just 20 years old, he understands that finding the perfect balance between discipline and creativity is crucial, especially when facing top-ranked players like Djokovic, Daniil Medvedev, and Sinner. His ability to adapt mid-match has already set him apart from many of his rivals, but he remains determined to keep improving. With his explosive playing style, powerful ground strokes, and fearless approach, he continues to be one of the most exciting players on the ATP Tour and is committed to further refining his game. His first challenge in Doha will be Marin Cilic, a veteran with an impressive career that includes a US Open title. Although the Croatian has been out of the circuit for several months due to injuries, his powerful serve and vast experience make him a dangerous opponent. Alcaraz knows he must be at his best to overcome this initial hurdle. If he advances past the first round, the competition will only get tougher. A projected quarterfinal clash against more formidable opponents awaits, and if he reaches the semifinals, a highly anticipated showdown with Novak Djokovic could be on the horizon. For Alcaraz, every victory in this tournament is a step closer to reclaiming the world #1 ranking. The Doha tournament has also been marked by the recent suspension of Jannik Sinner, whose 3-month ban was officially confirmed, causing a delay in the draw while officials awaited a final decision on his eligibility. With Sinner absent, Alcaraz takes on the role of top seed and tournament favorite, though his path to the title remains challenging. Beyond Doha, Alcaraz is already looking ahead to the upcoming North American hardcourt swing, where he will have to defend a significant number of ranking points after winning Indian Wells and reaching the Miami semifinals last year. Every match, every set, and every point counts in his quest to reclaim the top spot, and he knows that any slip-up could complicate his ambitions. If you are passionate about tennis and want to stay updated with the latest news, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. We are dedicated to bringing you the best content, from in-depth analysis to exclusive interviews and complete coverage of the biggest tournaments. Join our community and experience the excitement of the tennis world with us.